4 icons, 4 legends, 4 all-time greats.
I mean, that's just like a dream. The Brothers of Destruction versus Generation X. The table was set for success.
Oh my God, up over the top. Hunter hit hard.
Hunter got hurt. That totally sucked.
Shawn Michaels hit Kane so hard that Kane's mask came off his face. The game has nothing left. The 4 greatest of all time.
It was a total train wreck. It was a disaster. I take a lot of responsibility in that because in my mind, I wasn't there. Michelle and I had some personal things going on with family. For the most of my career, I could always put that out, but it just wasn't that way that night.
When you can't go like you need to go or want to go, hey, it's tough. But, you know, Father Time catches up with every single person. That's just the way it is.
I just don't want to see him get hurt, you know, because his heart's in the right place. His head's in the right place. His body's in a different place.
Because of all the other drama I had going on in my life at the time, at that point, I was like, this is just... I left Saudi thinking that I'm just done. So, you know, like I'm coming to grips with the fact that my days in the ring are numbered, and it's time for me to kind of cash in on the things and be able to do some things that I never would allow myself to do for the sake of the character and for the sake of the business. For the most part of my career, I lived this character and this gimmick.
I feel possessed.
And passed on a lot of opportunities to do other things because I didn't think that it was being true to the character.
Not many guys could have pulled that off. I can't think of anybody else who could.
There's this typical thing that people say about this place, that your character's personality on television is you turned up to 10, but Undertaker's always on 10.
We all treat that character with such reverence. I don't even call him Mark anymore. I haven't called him Mark in 20 years. I'd say it's safe to say I know less about him as a human being now than I did 28 years ago, and I like it that way.
Who is this guy? Is there somebody else underneath there?
Rest in peace.
Okay, you want to see playback on that? Yeah.
When we first started, I bought books about death. I bought books about undertakers, books about morticians, and books about dying.
You have this huge macabre figure, then the contrast of Paul Bearer with it.
It is here where my Undertaker painstakingly assembles his many works of art.
Paul Bearer Undertaker was always a combo. The early years, you didn't see him without me or me without him. We were always together, we traveled together, we stayed together, and it was just the perfect chemistry. And in those days, Undertaker didn't say nothing. He just stood there, you know, oh yes! Oh yes, yes, yes! Undertaker, hit it a couple more times, Tom, get a tight shot.
And it was just amazing the stuff that we could do. I remember building the coffin for
Kamala.
Sawing the wood and crafting this casket for Kamala and having blueprints and everything drawn up. All of that just became a part of what he did.
I must now be your judge, your jury, and your executioner.
We had a lot of fun in some of those cemeteries.
I didn't get you too much, did I?
Son of a bitch!
Rest in peace.
It always was in the absolute worst inclement weather you could imagine.
Here we go. 3, 2,
kind.
Like, we'd have to go and sit in the car and turn the engine on, you know, while they relit, back out into the cold again.
A lot of guys I wouldn't have even asked to do that because they would have looked at me like I was crazy. Mark Calloway understood what I was looking for and understood. He went, yeah, that'd be a cool shot. Okay.
And now they lay to rest behind me. That was a quick 30 seconds. Let's do it again.
Very dedicated to everything he sets his mind to. True professional in every sense of the word.
May you rest in peace.
That is a wrap. Thank you very much, Undertaker.
I appreciate everything that everyone that I've ever worked with did to help build that character.
Rest in peace! Rest in peace!
I, in fact, was 24/7. I was the Undertaker.
Are we ready for a funeral?
I made a decision early on that I'm gonna live this. I'm gonna dress in black everywhere I go, during appearances.
And how are you, Undertaker?
Fine.
Oh, good.
Are those enough words? What would you like to hear? Rest in peace.
Yeah.
So much professionalism and so much control over his emotions and this character.
You know what you need? You need a vacation. You need to get you an RV and go for a couple 1,000 miles.
It was a running gag or joke, whatever you want to call it with us, to try to get him to break character.
Almost got you, and I damn sure got me.
I think it's time for the Undertaker Rooney.
They tried to get him to do the spinner Rooney. They tried to get him to do so much.
I love you, man.
He never broke character.
You know, Kurt, that's a long flight back to the States.
Walking through the airport, people would leave me alone. They didn't know what I would do.
Is dedication to the craft, caring and loving about the business so much that you put it above all else.
That's a challenge in and of itself. That meticulous day after day, night after night, 365 being Groundhog Day every day for 30 years.
Are you married?
Am I married? I'm married to the creatures of the night that come and support me.
I was afraid of that.
For so long, whether he was on the road, at home, wherever he was, he protected the image of The Undertaker. He was The Undertaker.
It was an investment I made in the character. Didn't think people would accept the character the way they did and the way they have. If I'm out here doing these other things and then I'm this guy here, but then I'm this guy here, which nowadays it's just normal. So I started working with a social media group that was trying to get my name out there and exposure and endorsements and doing some other things. I had agreed to do an autograph signing in Las Vegas. It wasn't pitched to me that the other company had a show that was running right parallel to this autograph signing. I was oblivious. I wasn't even keeping up with what was going on or anything like that. Vince calls me. He's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm doing, I'm doing this signing." And he goes, "Well, yeah, but you got all these people thinking you're going to do this." I thought, "That's stupid. No anybody that knows anything about me knows that I'm not going to a different company. I've been here forever. I ain't going anywhere. I'm not going to jump ship to go to, well, why would I?" Vince and I had a little bit of a falling out over it, and I understand where he was coming from. He's got a business to run, and I understand his position, but I also had a position of my own that needed to be understood. And, we didn't talk for a little while, and then we both let our guard down enough to talk, and then we got things worked out, and it's all been sunshine and rainbows since.
After Crown Jewel, just kind of been taking it easy. Kind of beat up and worn out after
the last Saudi show. So here we are in New York. I mean, it's that time of year. Mania's around the corner. Obviously, I don't have a match this year. Not sure if, at this point, I'm not sure if I work at Mania again. Mania is probably come and gone for me. And I'm okay with that, I think. As we get closer to bell time Sunday, I'm sure I'll have a lot of emotions and a lot of feelings and wondering why I'm not getting myself ready to go to the ring. You know, I've played all this out in my head, and I'm not sure how it's going to go. I think it's been 14 years in a row that I've been on the card in some fashion.
He is the epitome of WrestleMania! He is the Undertaker!
You know, I don't want to be on the card just to be on the card. You know, if it's not something that's important or means something, there's really not a reason for me to do it. I'm sure I'll run the whole gamut of emotions from happy to sad. But right now, I'm content and I'm okay. I was fighting off that internal instinct, like normally on this day, you're doing this. And on this day, you're gonna do this. You know, you're gonna do, and I didn't have anything to do.
I don't know what to do with myself. I don't have anything to do. Hey, come to me. No. Dude. Took your head in, on time. Dude, say, hey, what's up?
Now, I got all the time in the world. I got no commitments other than spend time with my family. So yeah, we went and took Kaya to Axxess and got to go and look at all the stuff. I got stuff I'd never seen before. I mean, I can't even tell you the last time, other than doing a signing at Axxess, that I'd been to an Axxess.
Oh, backdrop out of it.
You know, she's 6 now, but she's really intuitive and she's in tune with what we do.
There's Mommy's belt.
It's just really cool for her to look at her mom's world championship.
Got it.
She's aware what her mom brought to the table and forged the way for the women of today and even for Kaya's generation. I got the biggest kick out of that, more so than my stuff.
Goodness gracious. Good job.
Go right this way. Pretty good.
Just kind of having fun as a family, but it felt weird.
Hey, what's up, brother? How you doing?
Good.
Kind of like, is this really happening?
We'll keep you warm. How you doing?
Hey, what's up? Ooh, strong. You're getting stronger.
She's stiff like Mommy.
You know, he's normally kind of stressed out the weekend of WrestleMania, and he was just kind of relaxed.
I'm enjoying this, and I'm enjoying getting to experience that with Herb and Michelle, because that's just something I never got to do.
It took me 3 times to get it right.
It was a strange energy, like this is really happening. He's not on WrestleMania.
All right, if I'm not working Mania, and in my head, I don't really foresee any more matches.
And then lo and behold, it was Saturday, and of course he gets a text or Vince calls or however it went down, he's needed on Raw. And I'm like.
And he goes, look, this is what I'm thinking.
And he's like, no. I'm like, you can't tell Vince no, and you want to do it, and there's nothing wrong with that, so go do it. At any moment, he'll be ready to step through those curtains and go. It's just a matter of when Vince needs him.
I don't have any gear. Boss, I didn't bring my gear. What? You didn't bring your gear?
Of course, I'm like, rookie move, who doesn't bring their gear? You know, that's cardinal rule, bring your gear.
I'm like, all right, I guess I'll go home and get it. So I got a flight that night, flew home, grabbed my bag. I had to find it first because I hadn't used it in a while. I had no idea where it was. I mean, it was all my stuff was packed and washed, but so yeah, I had a quick trip to Texas and went right back to New York.
Which way is the set? Anybody know? This way?
Gorilla? You can run, but you can't hide. Liverpool is too small. My wife will be at the Beatles tour. I'm finding you. I'll leave all the rollers to the home.
That's smart.
It all became very real Sunday.
How are you?
Good to see you.
Are you gonna be around all night?
All night. You got nothing to do?
We're gonna do a quick
Love to catch up.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
It was fine during the day. I had Michelle and Kaya with me.
Awesome as usual.
Always impressive.
There was no pressure, not worrying about what I was gonna do in a match.
I think I've aged out, man.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Here we are. I'm a spectator.
Just fun day, hang out a little bit,
You have to make a trip home?
Yeah.
Gosh.
talk to a bunch of people that I never get to talk to.
First time in 14 years.
Yeah.
It was weird not having him on the card.
I'm gonna do a few of your moves tonight, so.
Hey, just do them right, brother. That's all right.
But there was a part of me that really was happy that he wasn't. And I know that sounds weird, but I just love the guy. You know, I just don't want to see him, you know, walk away from this business in bad shape. So I was okay to see him not on the card and just giving himself a break, man. I mean, if anybody deserves a break, it's that dude.
What's up, Trouble?
What's up, brother?
How you doing?
I'm good.
We live in the same town. Our wives work out together. Our kids play. I take the kids for ice cream.
What are you doing hiding?
You better
like
give
that?
Mr. Mark a hug.
You could have scared me. What's going on, sugar?
When we're together, we never talk wrestling. But selfishly, as a fan, I still want to see him at WrestleMania.
Wait a minute. I'm dying. I'm dying.
Sorry.
What? No.
Sorry.
I told him not to. I didn't have anything to do with that. A pro would bring their gear. Always. And it's always right up here.
Well, okay.
Where I can get my hands on it.
That's good, but a pro would have booked me to start with.
Got a point.
All right.
You're not gonna wear that shirt, all right?
For the rest of the day, I am, yeah. You pushed the limits.
No.
You pushed the limits yesterday.
No. Look,
You could have put it out off a week, I'm just saying.
There's a giant Gonzalez from down in, where the hell is he from? That's his son that's coming back now.
There ain't enough left in me for that.
I've said this before. I heard Mick Jagger say this. He said, I can't understand people taking something to get up for a show. He said, now I can understand taking something to come down. The feedback from a live audience is the best.
Over 80,000 WWE fans will be here tonight. This is WrestleMania.
That's what people miss the most.
It wasn't until the show started and we went up to Gorilla. We're watching the show from there. And that's when it really hit me, like, I should be out there.
I don't think he was ready emotionally to sit back in Gorilla and not do anything. Being that close to the action, but not being in on it after all these years. I think that toyed with his head just a little bit. Which is hard to watch.
It was a rough night. Sitting there watching the show go on, thinking in my head that I should be out there and not.
It let me know, I think, that there's still a passion there. Probably moving forward, it'll be easier now that I've got through this.
Are you
leaving? I'm gonna walk them out.
If I get through today, you know, without working, and I think I'll be able to, you know, I'll be able to manage, and it is what it is. And, you know, we'll take it one day at a time from here. Tomorrow will be my WrestleMania, I guess. Nah. That's the famous suitcase right there. Traveled around the country to make sure it was here. Unbelievable. The things we do.
We always have the mentality, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. He always says, you know, if my number gets called, I'll be ready to go. And that was his mentality.
Every superstar wants to make their name on Elias. I get it, you're a fan. But mark my words, the next one to interrupt me is a dead man.
Oh boy. It is the Undertaker. Choke slam straight to hell from the Phenom. It is absolutely incredible.
I was happy how it all turned out tonight. I know that we're building for the big show in Saudi, and that's important to me. You know, just due to the fact of the last time to Saudi didn't go real great in my eyes, or anybody else's for that matter. But, so a little bit of redemption for my last trip to Saudi and get me out of my own head.
It was Triple H that called me and asked me, "What do you think about working with Goldberg in Saudi?" And I was like, "Wow." I mean, on paper, that's huge. I'd never worked with him. At this juncture in my career, you don't have very many opportunities to work with somebody of that magnitude for the first time ever, kind of deal.
Camera on my face here?
All right, that's all I ask.
You can't be an Yes, I can. That's what I do.
That's what you do.
Camera
He just turned into a character. See, camera, instant character.
Immediately.
Immediately. Bang. I got a green light.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Good.
A little minor, but nothing major.
All right.
Okay.
Just a little bit. You want to come back or you want to clear out?
Come back.
Can't believe this. I used to have stroke around here. Now,
And you're in Texas?
right in my hometown. You'll never make it out of here alive.
The stature of Goldberg, the stature of The Undertaker, being able to do that for the first time, I mean, that's pretty exciting. So I am looking forward to that. And hopefully we can deliver on the hype. That's a wrap. Hey, kid. How are you? Good to see you.
Where's your beautiful wife? I just saw her.
Being beautiful somewhere. She was just right there.
Oh, I'll find her. You look good.
Thank you. Smoking mirrors.
Mojo, you guys on your face.
Yeah.
The blue pen burst. I didn't know if you knew.
A lot of these still kids when I started here. I mean, I didn't mean to use it. I thought
That's me.
You shoot the shit right in the hallway. People don't walk right by them.
I'm looking for cameos, man. I'm looking for cameos of guys that are over. Go ahead, brother. It's the Miz. Are you kidding? You're the Miz. It's nice for people to come by and say hello and pay the respects like I'm the Godfather or whatever. They made me an offer I can't refuse.
I don't know, man. I need to get in with the boss. That's what I need right now. Forgot how long these days are. Who's sneaking up behind me? Stiff. No, let me find my range.
Hey, I got it.
Remember
right now.
that one.
I got it. I got my range right now.
We're trying to do a show here.
I know. I'm trying to help you out.
I got what I wanted. First time, maybe 29 years. He listened to my suggestion. I don't know if I should be worried or not. Might as well enjoy it right now while I can.
Hey, Lance, how are you, man? Levi. Good to see you. Another hometown. Eli, how are you, sir? How you doing? I'm pretty good.
You know, he lives here.
McConaughey and myself are both huge University of Texas Longhorn fans.
Keep bringing it over.
You know, it's pretty cool that they've made plans to come out and watch.
All right, guys.
Pleasure. See you, bud.
Here, talk to my film crew for a while.
This guy's real nervous, y'all. We need to talk to him.
Rookie.
Do you ever wonder what happens when you become face to face with death for the very first time? Does the sky grow dark? Does the ground begin to rip open at your feet? Goldberg, this Friday, you will get the answers to all those questions. Goldberg, you're next. And at Super Showdown, you will rest in peace.
The Phenom will take on Goldberg for the first time ever.
The match has built itself without even ever having to touch each other.
Two of the most dominant forces ever in sports entertainment will clash this Friday.
Now I just got to go get on the big plane and fly over there and get it on.
You are looking live at a jam-packed King Abdullah Sports City Stadium in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. This is Super Showdown.
With the pageantry and everything going on, this is a big deal. And I'm excited to give a new group of fans a little taste of the old me.
It is a big fight in our main event at Super Showdown. Goldberg, Undertaker.
There are very few true dream matches left in this business. This is one of them.
What's interesting about this matchup is that in the late 1990s, these two men did battle, but never against one another. They did battle on Monday Nitro and Monday Night Raw in the Monday Night Wars. They were pillars of their shows. And here tonight, for the first time, they do battle at Super Showdown. And Goldberg with a spear by Goldberg, and a setup by the Dead Man. Taker whipped across the ring, hits the turnbuckle hard. Here comes Goldberg. Oh, God. Goldberg may have been busted open when he went into the corner, and he was.
Bill got concussed early on. I'm assuming that. I think that he had a head injury. When you go on last, you want to be able to deliver, and you want people thinking when they are leaving, like, wow, that was, man, we have watched Goldberg and Undertaker go at it.
There's no way Goldberg's going to be able to do this to the Undertaker. Oh, my God!
Goldberg wanted the jackhammer, didn't get all of it.
It was a train wreck. It was not anything he wanted. It's not anything I'm sure Goldberg wanted or the fans want it.
And now Undertaker with a choke slam to Goldberg. Here's the cover by the dead man, and it's over.
My reactions after the match, this dejected look on my face, and there was, because I was upset. He was really disappointed, and I was disappointed.
That crushed me because I knew how much it would crush him, but more than that, yeah, his safety. I just knew, and I knew when he came inches, centimeters away from, breaking his neck. I instantly texted our doctors, and I was like, is he okay? Normally, if he's away and I know something's happened, I text him like, babe, you okay? And it's normally, yeah, I'm good. Don't worry, I'm good. And I text him like, how bad is it? He's like, man, my back is jacked up. And I was like, for him to admit that he was truly in some serious pain, I don't think I could even fathom how bad it really was.
It's just like, wow, that was really close to being catastrophic.
And I've seen him go through a lot of injuries. I've seen a lot of scary moments, but that one, man, that one got me. That didn't feel good at all. It was hard.
Got this long flight back to the States, and my back's bothering me, and I'm just like, man, maybe it's time. Maybe it is, you are out of gas, and I got a wife and kids, and am I risking permanent injury? And so all that stuff comes flooding into your head after something like that happens, and I need to really take a real honest look at this and assess where I'm at. Is it me? You start second guessing yourself. Like, is it me? Have I lost that big a step? Are you the reason why this stuff is happening? So you got all this stuff going on in your head, and then you got this pain in your back, and you can't hardly move, and it was tough for a while.
You just keep hearing that voice of, man, I really could have hurt myself bad. I got lucky, and he got so lucky. But yeah, I can't imagine how much that would mess with his head, because it messed with mine.
For the Saudi show, I had agreed to do the Extreme Rules already. So now I've got that in my head too. Like, is there some way that, can I get out of this? Do I need to get out of this? I was just overwhelmed with all these negative thoughts in my head, coming out of Saudi.
How are you, sir? Good.
It's going to be Roman Reigns and The Undertaker versus Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre tonight.
This is what McIntyre and McMahon aim to do, to put down the big dog once and for all.
Shane goes to the top rope, looking for the coast-to-coast here. Are you kidding me? Undertaker is here! The Phenom is here! The Phenom with a choke slam!
Talk about an unlikely savior.
You start to hear things, people talking, he's too old, he shouldn't do this, he shouldn't do that. Well, that's up for me to decide. As critical as they are, I'm twice as critical of myself, and I hold myself to a higher standard, regardless of how I feel or how long I've been doing this. I have expectations, and every time that I go out, I want to meet those expectations. I'd like to reach into the bag of tricks and dig deep and try and come up with, you know, a performance that make people forget about Saudi Arabia, or at least the last trip anyway. Nothing that I've really done in the past matters. Basically, what am I going to do tonight?
I was actually looking for some Diet Dr. Pepper because you two are the only people I know that drink that DDP stuff.
What, don't say that.
That good
What sort of? Okay, all right.
You know.
Just cut it short.
You just
All right,
don't get hot.
all right, I'm about half hot.
I didn't come up with that. He came up with that.
That's
You know, people looking from the outside in, you should call it a day, you know. You made enough money, or you done about this.
Hey, what's good, brother? How you doing?
Good.
What's up, man?
Are you? It's really not about the money. It's about the passion.
Jump in there. Oh, no, I'm good.
This has always been the one thing in my life that I know, that I know without a doubt. At this point, I got the answers. I know what to do in those situations, and you know, you don't always know those things as a husband, as a father. You know, this is the one thing that I've always felt like, if something came up, I had the answer.
This is one of the most addictive businesses I think that there is. It's so great at its greatest level. It's so the perfect form of entertainment if you really love it. Like, the talent that you're on the road with are your family. The people you're in the ring with are your family.
Stay ready, so you ain't got to get ready.
And it's addictive, that connection, that electricity, that fan, that reaction, that all of it.
I think probably the biggest thing is look in the mirror and go, am I ready for that change? Because, you know, there's also a comfort with that Groundhog Day. It's a familiarity and stuff that you know. You know, it's like a freaking drug dealer, right? So, you know, any addiction is bad, even if it's the healthy stuff.
This is the one place and the one thing that I've always been so confident of, and it's been so hard to walk away.
At a certain point, is it pride? And is it ego? And also a work ethic and wanting to be there for Vince and the company? I think a lot of those things weigh on him.
For the last few years, I've had this internal struggle of, I don't want to stay too long and become a parody of myself. I can't deny Father Time's catching up. I just can't.
We would kid each other about who was going to tap out first. And of course, it was me by a long shot. I retired, you know, at the WrestleMania 19 against The Rock.
This business is going to go on long after Steve Austin, The Undertaker, Rock, and anybody else is here. That's just the nature of the beast. And our time comes and our time goes. So, you know what? His legacy is built and it's established. So everybody gets their number called sometime.
He knows the end is near because Father Time's sitting there just kind of tapping him on the back of his shoulder, waiting for him to turn around and say, hey, dude, it's time. But it's hard to do.
I haven't discussed anything with Stone Cold. Sean and I have talked quite a bit, and I've said on more than one occasion I should have left with you.
That's the thing. You've got to have a point to where you're secure, stepping back from that portrait that you've been painting for the last 30 years and look at it, be thankful of it, be appreciative of it, you'll be joyous with it, and then sign your name at the bottom of it. You're gonna walk away from it.
It's hard to walk away from something you love and you've been doing your whole adult life. I had a hard time saying goodbye.
He's one of those guys who can be his own worst enemy because he loves his business and he's just all heart. And if you told me there was somebody who loved the business more, you'd have to prove that to me. I think there's something inside of Taker that's worries about what's going to happen with his business when he leaves. Like his child, you know, it's a scary thing for him to step away and let it go on its own.
You'll always miss it, but I realize that I physically can't do it at the level that I want to do it at. And because of that, it's time for me to move on to the next chapter in my life.
And that's what I'm finally mentally prepared to do. So.
It is a hot summer night on the East Coast as we prepare for the one night a year WWE Goes Extreme. You are looking live at the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia as we welcome you to WWE Extreme Rules.
The following contest is a no-holds-barred match.
As you get older and you're surrounded with younger guys that are, all they got to do is think it and move, where you have to actually apply yourself a little harder. Those are all kind of things that are running through my mind.
Pressure putting on myself right now is a lot more than in the past. My heart's telling me, you know what to do. You know how to do it. Just go out there and enjoy it.
This very well could be the last time.
The world watching tonight, the return of The Undertaker to Extreme Rules as he teams with Roman Reigns against McIntyre and McMahon. And Undertaker, remember, no holds barred. Roman Reigns, face first into the steel. McIntyre and Shane have now been able to take over. You see The Undertaker in the background pacing.
I could tell that he felt good. He was doing the stare, stomp, you know, getting the fans into it.
No. Tag! Here comes The Undertaker!
This is the last thing Shane McMahon wanted.
This is not gonna be pretty. Oh my God! Elias! Claymore kick from McIntyre! Undertaker's defenseless! Shane on the top rope! Elbow!
That is why Shane McMahon is the best in the world.
Shane is not done yet. Mocking The Undertaker. Oh! Shane's seen a ghost. Undertaker doesn't realize he's there. And a spear! Tombstone pile driver!
Here are your winners, the team of Roman Reigns and The Undertaker!
Who said the dead man's done?
An incredibly dominant performance by The Undertaker, as well as his partner for the first time ever, the big dog Roman Reigns. An unbelievable resurrection for The Undertaker.
Corey, I cannot remember when The Undertaker has looked that damn good.
It was fun to watch from a fan perspective, from a wife's perspective. It was so entertaining.
The Undertaker may be the dead man, but you are looking at a living legend.
Everything went the way it was supposed to go. There was energy, I felt good, I was moving well.
Enjoy it, ladies and gentlemen. We don't know how many more times we're going to be able to enjoy what we witnessed tonight.
There's only one man who has stood the test of time.
I was like, that's it.
We'll talk about it for example. Did you know it's got crack?
Everything was there, everything was right there. I mean,
I know my body's not.
most important is this.
Well, it's my body and my long term.
Okay.
I'm gonna go and get at it and think, but I just didn't want to spring that on you. I mean, I'm springing it on you now, but I'm not. I need to evaluate.
It's beautiful. Oh, thank you. Very.
I wish I had that juice a few years ago, bro.
You're moving.
That was nice. Really nice.
Thanks, man.
Like I said, if that's a swan song, then I wanted to enjoy it, and you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But it was a real sense of calm. Felt like I had a flow out there, and it's been a while since I felt like that. Felt good.
We're all chasing that pop, and I think that's the most difficult struggle that any of us who've been in there and been able to hold the crowd in the palm of our hands will face, is trying to find something in life that makes us feel the way we feel when we're inside that ring.
If they haven't been in this industry, you don't get it.
We've never experienced a regular life. And so to imagine your life not being a WWE superstar, not doing that same thing, that's hard. There's more reasons to say yes than there are to say no and to walk away.
Yes, there's a loyalty to Vince, but I believe that the truth is not the loyalty to Vince, it's the loyalty to this, all of it. And it's not money, it's not fame, it's not any of the stuff, it's the moments, it's the excitement, it's that connection to the fans. It's the dragon. The loyalty is to the dragon that you're chasing.
It kind of went too good a little bit, you know. 'Cause right now I'm all juiced up with, adrenaline and feeling good about how things went. I'm like, well, maybe. I might have a couple more left.
Hang on one second.
If I don't perform in the ring again, I'm okay. Because when we started this whole thing, I wasn't.
I wasn't counting him out just yet. I really always expect him to come back.
There's got to be some finality somewhere.
Regardless of anything, I'm gonna write my own story, and I'm gonna write my own ending. I had no idea that that was gonna be the gateway.
It sounded like he was gonna go one more match. I'm gonna give it a shot. All I can say is no.
Mark looked at me and I was like, there's nobody better. It could be magic.
When you're as good as AJ Styles is, that's an intriguing dragon to chase.